Tom, your friendly neighborhood atheist, and this is my daughter.
Hello.
I'm not going to tell you what her name is.
Hello.
Well, I may have already done that. She really liked to be in one of my videos. In fact, come here. You sit closer so people can actually see your cuteness. Yeah, ignore that. There you go. She really wants to be in the video, so I've been asking her what she wanted to do a video of. And I said, do you want to talk about religion?
No.
Do you want to talk about your belief in God?
No.
Do you want to talk about going to church?
No.
Do you want to talk about what I teach you about religion?
No.
Do you want to talk about anything having anything to do with the videos that I make about religion? So, what would you like to talk about?
I don't know.
So this is how kids are. They are infuriating. But I teach my daughter about religion. I don't teach her to be an atheist. I don't teach her about atheism because there's nothing to teach about atheism.
Oh.
Is there anything to learn about atheism?
I don't know.
No, there isn't. There's nothing to teach about atheism. You can't teach atheism because it's like teaching kids not to believe in Harry Potter. So, yes, welcome. Thank you. So she really wants to be in the video, and that's really what this video is all about. My daughter wanting to be in a video, and I don't even know if I should put this on Tom the Atheist on or my Garden Atheist channel. Which one should I put it on?
Tomatoes.
Tomatoes. Oh, she's a cute kid, isn't she? I love this kid. Did I mention that I never wanted to have kids?
This
I
is
had no
good tomato.
I had no interest in having kids, and I've been very open and honest with my daughter about the fact that I never wanted to have kids, and that she was an oops baby.
This is good.
Were you an
tomato.
oops?
Yeah. Is this good
I was an
tomato?
oops too, so that's okay. And my mother was an oops. I come from a long line of oopses.
Daddy. Is this a
Yes,
good
it's a good tomato.
This is good tomato.
Yes, they're all good. They're tiny. I take the green stem off at first, though. But I'm very honest with my daughter. I'm honest with her about everything. Whenever she asks me, I try to give a very honest answer. Be it about religion, or God, or sex, or boys, or girls, or school, or government, or gardening, or anything. Anything that she asks, I'm very open and honest about. That is one of the benefits of not being religious. I have no religious morality to keep me from being honest with her. I can tell her about sex, I can talk about homosexuality, I can talk about trans people. What do you think of trans people?
I don't know.
Do you think they're weird?
Kinda.
Kinda. Why do you think they're weird? Because they are not typical. You don't meet many trans people. I know a lot of trans people. So to me, they're you know, I met the first trans the first trans person I met was in college. And was a girl who said she felt that she was a gay man. And my response was, okay. And she was shocked by that response because her whole life people were like freaked out by, oh my God, what are you weird? So when my response was like, okay, you're a girl and you think you're a man and you think you're a gay man because even though you think you're a man, you're still attracted to men, and like, okay, because it didn't affect me. It had no bearing on me. It had no bearing on what I like, who I was gonna sleep with, who I was attracted to. It had nothing to do with me, had all to do with but her or him. I mean, I checked back, and I only know her as a girl, so I will continue referring to her as a girl, even though she identifies as man. Of course, this was 30 plus years ago. I checked with her like 10 years after college, and she was married and had kids, because I guess the idea of transitioning to male was just unavailable at the time. So I don't know where she stands now. That's the one problem I have with trans people is that I have a hard time transitioning my view of them from male to female. I have a nephew who is transitioning to female, and everyone is working very hard to call him her, and I understand the desire to be called the as you identify.
What happened there?
And it doesn't, I hate the idea of labels. If I've known somebody for 20 years as one sex and now they're telling me that they identify as a different sex, that's fine. I have no problem with that.
I want to make clay
And
stuff.
I will attempt to call them the proper pronouns. But old habits die hard, and to me it's still my nephew. Even when I look at him, it's a her. And when I see that person, I see a woman, and I can refer to as a woman.
Wait.
But historically, it is a man, it's a boy. So when I think of that person, I think of him, and it's hard to think of his past as him being a girl. I know other people like Stephanie Guttormson. I've only known her as a woman. To me, she's a woman. That's all I've ever known of her. It would be weird for me to think of her as a man, even though the bulk of her life she was in a male presentation. But it's very easy for me to consider her a woman because that's all I know of her. And I know this has gotten off topic and not about my daughter, but I think it's important for my daughter to understand that people are different. People identify in many different ways. People have been trained to only accept heterosexual people. That men like women and women like men, and that's all that is normal. And I'm trying to explain to her, teach her, that that's not the case. There is no real normality. Trans people and homosexuals do seem weird because you don't come into contact with, I don't want to say you don't come in contact with them, but you don't come into contact with their orientation. You know you, the viewer, know many, many gay people, and you know many, many trans people. You just don't know it. You don't know it. You assume that they are normal. I don't forget normal. That they are regular. See what a slipper? It's a quicksand. It's hard to talk about this thing. You assume they are typical heterosexual people, and very few people are typical heterosexual people. I'm one of those few typical heterosexual people. I've never had any interest in men, and I'm so straight that a guy can hit on me and it doesn't bother me. In fact, I'm flattered if a guy hits on me because somebody's attracted to me. That should always feel good, regardless of who they are.
Hello.
Hello, it's you again. And I want my daughter to understand that people are very diverse. What we are taught to expect of people is bad. It's damaging to teach children to expect people should only be heterosexual. Children should understand that gay people are normal, that trans people are normal, that everyone is normal. Why you don't play the camera? Come over here, be cute. Yes. Just because you're not used to someone doesn't make them weird. And it's a hard lesson. I mean, I admit it. It's a hard lesson to teach a child, especially considering the fact that they have the attention span of a gnat. Yeah. But I'm very clear. I'm very honest. I'm very forthright
Diagram.
about everything. Diagram. Because I want her to understand the world is far more diverse than black and white. You know, in sexuality, there is no A and B. There's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L. I mean, there's just, you know, I personally believe that the majority of people are bisexual. I believe the majority of people fall in the spectrum of having some amount of attraction to the opposite sex. There is no straight or gay.
I made
There's
a
the full
video.
spectrum. There's there is every layer. I mean, I'm completely straight, so I'm far on that end of the spectrum. And there are people who are strictly attracted to the opposite sex or the same sex. But I think the majority of people fall in the range of having some amount of attraction, and from just physical beauty attraction to sexual attraction. And they're two different things. And sexual attraction is what we determine sexual orientation. And there are plenty of people who are bisexual in the range of being slightly attracted to the same sex and mostly attracted to the opposite sex, to being mostly attracted to the opposite or the same sex and only slightly attracted to the same sex. And those who are 50-50. And the people who are 50-50, who have equal attraction to both sexes, I actually am envious of them. I'm envious of just being, it opens a world of possibilities. But you know, you get those people who say they're gay and then they go back. And they're not gay strictly, they're bisexual. They're attracted to both sexes. But everyone wants everyone to be either one thing or another thing. And very, very few people are. And I know I've gotten off the tangent of sexuality again, and this was all supposed to be about my daughter, but I just want the world to be a more
Daddy,
accepting place. I want the world
I got
for people not to use religion to make determinations about people, because only religion teaches sex as a moral lesson, and there's nothing in morality that has anything to do with sexual orientation. Zero. Nada. Nothing. There's no morality in what religion teaches. There's no morality in what you eat or what you wear or who you sleep with. That's all just BS. Morality is all about empathy, and why we treat people the way we do is because we understand that having that behavior, or I should say that negative behavior against ourselves, makes us feel bad, and we don't want other people to feel bad, and that's the fact of life. Anyways, I'm Tom, your friendly neighborhood atheist, and that was my daughter, who really wanted to be in the video. And like most things in life, she wants things, but that's, you know, she just wants things. I'll catch you next time. Bye.
bye.
12 minutes, holy shit.
Daddy.
I know, I'm not supposed to swear. Bye.